Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video of Marvel Contest of Champions. Today is finally the last part of the Cavalier monthly EQ, that is going to be 3.2 chapter, and in this one you have 7 different parts, and the boss is going to be Jabari Panther, who's a skill champion and is quite tough to deal with. So we will discuss about her more in detail. The nodes here are going to be more suited to mystic attackers, so every time you nullify a debuff on the opponent or you nullify a buff on the opponent, you get a permanent prowess on you that multiplies the damage of your special attacks. So any champions, the best counters will be any champions that have a lot of special abilities or have easy access to nullify. So for example, Doom with his stagger, Dr. Voodoo with his poisons, same goes Black Widow Clairvoyant, Magic, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, they will all work really well here. Now before we jump into the walkthrough of the easy part guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the post notifications. All of that really helps me out a lot. Now the first fight is going to be against a Karnak. Now he's a pretty easy and simple fight. You just need to be careful. He will shrug off your shock debuffs faster. So if you want to throw in a heavy attack with Doom, then you might have to be a bit quicker on it, maybe with 3 hits, and then use a then use a heavy hit, because otherwise he will shrug it off and retaliate. Other champions can also work here easily. You can bring in any champion with nullify or stagger, so your Dr. Voodoo, your Scarlet Witch, even Magic with his SP1 and SP3 will work nicely here. Also there is a node here, if you stay nearby him, but he will start getting those personal furies, and then you can use those furies against the defender because of the node of personal space. Next defender is going to be the Hood. Now Hood again is a pretty simple and straightforward defender. Just make sure you don't push him to an SP2, because once he throws an SP2 he gets invisible, and also he gets immune to magic effects, so it becomes a lot difficult fight. So all you need to do is to keep pushing him to an SP1 and baiting it out and attacking him back, and in the meanwhile you can build up those charges, those furies from personal space that you can use for yourself. You can either bring in champions like Voodoo and convert them into poisons, or you can use some other mystic champions that have stagger, and that will give you extra prowess charges because of the node of mystic consumption. And yes, you can build up those prowess charges in one SP2 or SP3. He will die very swiftly. Next on the path, we're gonna be having Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. Now this guy can be a little annoying because of his Stark AI, and he can auto evade your specials most of the time. So make sure before you throw in a special, use a heavy attack or you knock him down so his AI gets into cooldown. Once in cooldown, you can always easily use your specials and to build up your prowess charges and then kill him off. His armor and HP is really low, so he will die quickly. I am using a Voodoo here just to poison him down to kill him really fast because of his low armor and low HP. I'm going to use Voodoo. You can also use Voodoo for the whole path as well, or you can Doom the whole path as well. It's not a big deal. The main attraction is going to be the boss that we will discuss in a bit. Hyperion is going to be the next defender. Now with Hyperion, it's always about the power gain. You control the power gain, you control Hyperion. So in my case, I am bringing in Magic to power lock him with an SP2. Other champions that work really well here, it can be Black Widow Clairvoyant, because you can easily nullify his power gain buffs. And also Doctor Doom, you can put a stagger on effect on him so they don't trigger ever. And also Dr. Voodoo with an odd combo works really well as well. You can use an odd combo, and then once you have an SP2, you can throw an SP2 on even combo, and then you can just power control with the power button. Same way you can also bring in Doctor Strange, but it will depend on the counter spell from him. But there are quite a few options with power control in Mystic that you can easily use them and build up your prowess charges, and then let your specials rip, and that will kill off Hyperion very quick. Next fight is going to be against the Sentinel. Now Sentinel, it's not a difficult fight, but it's a really annoying one, because with time he gains those analysis charges, and then he all of his attributes they improve. Like, he will not lose much power when he uses a special attack. You cannot steal much power from him, and also his SP2 will give you Incinerate. Now this is a slightly slow and patient fight. I am just using Doom here. You can use any champion you like. You can even power control it, it's up to you. You can bring in Voodoo, Black Widow, Clairvoyant, any of the Mystic champions will work here. I'm just using Doom to do quick work of him. All I'm trying to do is to build up those 5 prowess charges, so as soon as I have them I can throw some specials and kill him off fast. And then finally it's going to be Red Goblin. Now with Red Goblin again, I would suggest you to keep him to an SP1 because it's much easier to evade. You can also evade the SP2, but you need perfect timings. Now keeping that in mind, I am just using a Morning Star just to show you how viable she is here. You will notice that I'm just trying to use my parry. I'm not dashing, but I'm staying close to the attacker. Once I have my SP2 and he has some Furious Will because of personal space, I will let it rip, and that SP2 will do a lot of damage. Two or three of those SP2s and he dies very fast. Now I'm trying to just bait here his SP2 and now back to SP1 and build up those personal fury charges on him with personal space, and then let my SP2 rip and he dies quick. Now the boss fight is a very difficult and annoying boss from this whole Cavalier EQ. That is going to be a Jabari Panther. Now with her, every time she dashes into you and tries to hit you, she gets this mechanic called cleanse. So any of the debuffs on her, they will be removed and she will gain such charges that are called 100 charges. If you look at this blue icon, a gray and a blue icon on the bottom of his power bar, those are 100 charges. Every time she purifies a debuff, she gets one. When she gets to 10 of those charges, she is going to get into hunter mode, and the attacker will not be able to dex or cannot be able to evade. So just be careful about that. So the best way to deal with with Jabari Panther is to bring in champion who has easy access to prowess. In my case, I bring in Storm Pyramid X because every time the defender or the attacker gains a bar of power, she gains 2 prowess. So every time you gain a prowess, you will reduce the charges on the huntress on Jabari Panther. Now apart from that, also there is also passive stun. Whenever you try to stun the opponent and then nullify it, you will be passively stunned. That's one of the abilities of Storm Pyramid X, and that works really well. In my opinion, she is the best counter in the game for this Jabari Panther. So yeah, you can easily stun and you can also easily remove the huntress charges, so you don't have to worry about them. So keeping that in mind, all you need to do is to build up to an SP3, stay back, charge up to 100 charges and use an SP3, and that will activate your Tempest, both of them, and then you build to an SP2 as fast as possible and then use that, and that will do a lot of damage. And you can rinse and repeat that and you will be easily able to kill her off. Now a couple of things I would suggest you guys is to keep her to an SP2. Her SP2 is easily evadable. Even as SP1, try to evade the last projectile. You will notice I do it a lot of times here. I just try to stay near her, and then when she is about to throw the projectile, I swipe back, and that is an easy evade for me. And another thing you need to take care about is the mighty charge node that is there. So when she charges in with the medium attack, she removes all the debuffs on herself. So, and only you can interrupt her with a dash. Now just take care about that, and also whenever you're going to stun him, she is going to shrug it off if you're not using a right champion. Some other options are going to be Colossus. Now there's another way to deal with her with Colossus, I will explain. When I say Colossus, I mean any tanky champion, and there's also Magneto with his free fight ability. We'll discuss that in a bit. Now the next option is going to be a Colossus. Now Colossus is pretty fun against her because you can just hold your block, you won't take much damage, and whenever she ensnares you, you can just stay there and heal up with willpower, and as soon as she throws an SP1, you can dex it, or you can even block it. Also same goes for her heavy attack, so you just wait for the heavy attack, and as soon as she uses a heavy attack, you swipe back and then you retaliate. And then you build up to an SP2 or SP3, and then you throw that and rinse and repeat that, and that brings down Jabari Panther very quickly. I find this method to be the most consistent and most easy when it comes to bringing her down without any Magneto pre-fight or anything. Speaking of Magneto pre-fight, Magneto, if you bring Magneto House of X, if the white one, if you bring him with any metal or hero champion and you turn on his pre-fight ability, so the stuns become passive, and the passive stuns cannot be shrugged off by Jabari Panther. So For example, if you bring in a Warlock with Magneto House of X White and you turn on those pre-fight ability, so whenever Warlock is going to stun Jabari Panther, that's going to be a passive stun and that cannot be cleansed off or cannot be shrugged off. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video, and if you did guys, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications. I would love to hear all the feedback on the first Cavalier EQ on the channel. I know I've used different kind of formats for different videos. It's not very consistent right now. Also the thumbnails have also varied, so I'm just looking for the right formula or for the right format for the video. So do let me know in the comment section what do you think and what was the best format, so we can continue with that going ahead. And apart from that guys, I hope you all have an amazing day and I'll see you next time.